Hey guys, wanted to take a moment to talk about tomatoes. Today we're going to talk about suckering your tomato to keep it to one fruit producing vine to climb on your trellis with the spacing that we use at all of our friends' gardens. It's 12 to 18 inches. So if we let these guys go wild, they're really gonna overtake this trellis. It's gonna make it harder for the right amount of airflow to pass through the plants, which can lead to disease and bacteria spreading because there's not enough oxygen passing through for the plant. Also, keeping it well manicured can help you produce better yields because of those same issues that we just mentioned. So a couple things to note on the tomato plant. I'm going to pass the camera off. A couple things to note on the tomato plant. What we're talking about today is called suckering. So a sucker is a part of the plant that has growth potential to create an entirely new tomato. And one of the ways that you could identify that is when you get close right here, you'll see at the crest, or at what some people call the crotch of the tomato plant, where it makes a V right there. If there's another plant growing directly in the middle, that's what we would consider a sucker. So this would be a sucker, this would be a sucker, this too would be a sucker. All of these have the growth potential to turn into a brand new plant. So what we're going to do anyways, because for good tomato pruning, you don't really need anything below 18 inches. It's not going to produce fruit that low. It's not going to be good for your garden where we have things companion planted like garlic and basil and other herbs. We really don't need that space. And if you notice, this plant's just throwing off flowers right here at about 18 inches anyways. So anything below that line we don't need. So it makes this decision easy because we needed to remove all these suckers anyways. So we're just going to go through, we're going to remove all of that. And chances are we've probably already done this for you, but the reason that you're receiving this video and the reason we're talking about this now is because for the rest of the growth of the tomato and the rest of the experience in spring gardening this year, you'll either be choosing to manage this or to not manage this and let it go really wild in your home garden. Either way, you'll have a ton of tomatoes, cucumbers, whatever it is. But this way, it'll be a little easier to see everything. Everything will be a little healthier, and you'll end up getting a better yield because of it. So that is what a tomato should look like after the first 18 inches or so are pruned. You see we're going to have some fruit here, and I helped guide it through the trellis, and I'll help guide it back and forth through the trellis as long as it continues to grow. And so we'll come in here and we'll do the same thing. And right here, you can see with this plant, similar, not issue, but we have our flowers right here, and then we have this giant sucker coming out of this lower branch. And once again, makes the decision really easy for us. We're going to remove that. And we're going to remove all of these low branches because we don't need them. With tomatoes and a lot of vegetables, you can't do the chop and drop techniques that we've talked about before because those scents actually attract pests. So we need to take these tomato clippings all the way to a compost. And you see there's no other suckers in this plant. We still have the main vine just shooting straight off into the middle. So we're going to guide that guy behind and around. And we'll come over to this last one for another example. Climb through the parsley forest over here to find our way to this plant. Check it out. This one's a little bit more difficult because right here you have tomatoes growing out of this side with this sucker right here. Actually, our decision's still pretty easy. We got to remove this sucker at the crotch of this plant. We got to remove this one down low. This one over here too. See how it's reaching toward our basil? Gives all of our herbs more room to grow. Gives our tomatoes better room as well. I'm going to take this side branch because we don't need it. And if you see right here, this is a future sucker. It's very small, but I'm going to go ahead and remove it too. And when they're small like that, you can just pluck them right off. And these side ladder branches are okay, but just no suckers. And that is how you sucker your tomato plant and guide it into the positions you want it. That's all I got for you guys for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Keep the plants clean. You'll get a better harvest because of it. It'll produce more tomatoes, healthier. It'll also be more aesthetically appealing as well. Thanks.